Okay, what's going on, guys? And welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Ross, we've loads of stuff to talk about, but I'm going to start at the very, very top. Explain to the people listening and watching right now where my UFC glove has gone. The champ deserves what the champ has earned.
So I get this absolutely outrageous text off Barry saying, "Bring me my UFC glove and a tray of Monster down to training." But the thing is, Barry hasn't been to training in the last 5 weeks, so I assume he wasn't showing up for this.
The return of the champ was back on Saturday. I had one glove, I had one hand waiting for the glove. You know, it was like Booker T. Can you dig it?
Yeah, but I don't want to be taking that out of the house without guaranteed knowing that you're going to be there. And your track record as of late has been shocking. So, you know what? You surprised me.
Haters are going to hate Ross, as people would say. But if you are new to the Energized show,
welcome.
And if you're a returning Energized listener,
welcome back. And shout out to Rory Crowley. Happy birthday this week. And to CC Fitness. Happy birthday to him too.
Anyone else's?
No, that's it, actually.
I think it was Big John's during the week as well.
Oh, Big John McCarthy as well. Why not? He can have a shout out as well.
Yeah, like Ross, this episode is going to be pretty big, right? For people that don't know what we're going to be covering, Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier is going down, so we're going to be talking about that. Till is going back and forth with Kazmat, hashtag Smash, and we're going to be discussing all last week's UFC, including Ortega getting the win over Korean Zombie. In Bellator, Chris Soyberg is still the reigning champ. And then this weekend, if you didn't know, UFC 254, Khabib's taking on Gaethje to become the lightweight champion. Ross, this is a show. This is what like covering MMA is all about. Like shows like this, like the real stuff, you know, the real shit.
As our good friend Dana White says, if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know. So Ross, we're going to start at the very, very top. Conor McGregor has announced that himself and Dustin Poirier are going to be fighting in 2021 on January 24th, if
23rd.
January 23rd. Ross, this was coming, and now it hasn't been officially put out by the UFC, but I think when Conor McGregor pulls the trigger, announces it, Dustin Poirier announces, Dana White said after the weekend's UFC event, it's happening, they both agreed, it's on. How much are you looking forward to this?
It is on. John Kavanagh actually put out an interesting tweet to see if this fight will take place at 170 or 155. I want to see the guys weigh in at 155 pounds. It'll be very interesting to see where this fight also takes place in terms of venue. Conor McGregor has already teased Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I have the feeling it's going to be in Vegas, to be honest. That's where UFC headquarters are. That's where... Well, I just told you, that's where UFC headquarters are. That's where the big fights happen. And if they can get any form of live gate, I feel like they can charge more money in Vegas for tickets and people accept it. And that's just my take on it.
What stadium in Vegas or arena?
They can do in that new Raiders stadium.
Is that where you think it's going to be?
Well, if they can get any form of attendance in, that's probably where it'll have to be.
Yeah. Well, like, you know the way Dana White's really good mates with Donald Trump. If Donald Trump wins the election, he might actually start letting fans back into the stadiums. That's why they're always talking about the Texas thing. Like Conor McGregor was putting that out. Do you think because they haven't agreed on a location, that they haven't officially announced it? You know, they probably want to know exactly where it's happening and announce it all in one bang.
Yeah, but I also think the finances are going to have to be discussed as well, and the finances are going to vary now because. If when Conor McGregor fought against Eddie Alvarez, I think there was like a $17.5 million gate. So, when there's $17.5 million that they're not gaining from revenue, you know what I mean? Like they're going to obviously want everyone to take a cut also on that. Because otherwise they're paying it to fighters and making less. Now, will they still make an outrageous profit? Absolutely. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's sort of, you're thrown out there. The figures, but it will be interesting to see does it get done. Conor McGregor seems to have maybe even lost a bit of power against the UFC, just considering that normally he says put me on a card and he gets on that card, and he was asked to be on UFC 255 and 256 and he got shut down on both occasions. He's now fighting UFC 257.
We put out a countdown when the fight actually happens, and it's like I think it's like just 3 months, like exactly.
Yeah, it's like 3 months to the day, or
Yes, well, like, yeah, it's like it's basically it's.
actually, it's 3 months and 4 days away.
There we go. And
Yeah.
like when I actually saw that timer, I was like 3 months. That's ages away. Like think about how much revenue the UFC are going to make in the build up to that. Like talking about it, like Conor McGregor's best fights, all the archived footage. Like they have 3 months of stuff that is just like they're going to make like the views are just going to be massive on all their stuff when they start putting Conor's name and stuff.
Yeah, it really, really will be. And this weekend has a massive role to play in that fight as well, because you have to assume the winner of this weekend's fight is going to fight the winner of that fight.
I don't think it will be, but we'll obviously get into that. But yeah, so like I saw on Twitter then John Kavanagh and Poirier were tweeting each other, and it was very, very cordial. Like John Kavanagh was saying stuff like, "Oh, enjoy your Christmas food" and all this sort of stuff, Like so, like you were pushing at 170. They shouldn't do this at 170. It has to be 155, doesn't it?
I'd much rather see it at 155.
Yeah.
I want to see them fight in the weight class where they're both going to compete for the belt. On top of that, I think Conor actually has more advantage at 155 than he does at 170. If Poirier gets to weigh in at 170, he's the better grappler of the two, and I think that will favour him quite heavily, I think.
Yeah, just also going back to what you said about fighting in Vegas. I thought it was, and it wasn't like it hasn't been announced, but it's been said, and supposedly it's actually true that the UFC are going back to Fight Island in January.
Oh, well, maybe it is Fight Island then. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe they could get a few fans into the stadiums in Abu Dhabi. Again, you could have outrageous ticket prices there as well.
Yeah. It's because they only have 2 octagons, don't they?
I think so, yeah. Well, the big one and the small one.
Yeah, and like if they're over in Abu Dhabi, that's obviously going to be the big one. And if like the Apex smaller one for a Conor versus Poirier fight it'd be a bit like, what?
Yeah, I think like it needs to have that big fight feel. I felt like DC versus Miocic like missed that big fight feel because it was in the Apex, and I think when you're over in Fight Island, there's a bigger fight feel to it, and I think it's caused the larger octagon. Also, the larger octagon gives like those elite mixed martial artists the more space to work in their technique.
Yeah. I prefer the bigger one. Like
some people go, "Oh, there's more knockouts in the smaller one," but if you actually look at the quality of the knockouts, I think they're actually better in Fight Island.
Yeah, I think it's just, the mystique of Fight Island is like very much more appealing, and like also for people that are listening in Europe, the fight card starts at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Like our time, like Ireland. So like this is so ideal.
The main event might be on at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, rather than like 5 a.m. in the morning, which is like
means we're winning.
Yeah, we are winning. We are winning. Like obviously there's going to be more announcements coming. I'm sure that'll be like properly announced this week, I'd say. And then when it is, we'll be discussing everything on next week's show. What more we found out about McGregor and Poirier, because like that, like it's absolutely brilliant getting like those 2 lads on the card. It just makes what we do more exciting. Like it makes everyone more excited. It makes the casuals more excited. So it's brilliant.
It definitely won't be the last time you hear us talk about those two.
No, definitely won't. You can picture next week's thumbnail already. Ross, another like potential matchup that could happen as well. Darren Till taking on Khamzat Chimaev. Obviously, Darren Till is booked in to fight Jack Hermanson later on this year. But Darren Till is like posting pictures of Khamzat online and stuff, just being like the same stuff, random stuff like strong and happy and funny. And this is I think this fight will be absolutely brilliant, because like I was looking at Darren Till's numbers, right? He has 1.1 million on Instagram, and I thought he was going to have way more for some reason. But all other fighters keep turning down Khamzat, but Khamzat's nearly on 1 million now. Like last night, he was on like 912,000. Like at Fight Island, he had 800,000 as the previous event. So like by the time these two, if or when these two match up, Khamzat's going to have a bigger following. Like Khamzat is already one of the top 10 biggest stars in the UFC right now.
Yeah, well, if you look at it this way, Dana White went live with Khamzat beside him, and he was like showing off Khamzat. And he sat there and watched the whole fight. Some also, it does help when Darren Till like dedicates his Instagram to you.
Yeah,
And what did he say? He said, "Hope everyone has a good Friday except for Kazmat."
yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so fun.
he's so funny. But Darren Till, like, he gets the fight game like no other in a weird way. That he's so unique the way he goes about doing his thing that he sort of gets what he wants. And I think he does want that Kazmat smoke. I think Darren Till always wants to fight one of the hardest people possible. If you
Yeah.
actually look at his UFC tenure, especially as of late, he's just fought like absolute killer after absolute killer. And I think he wants to continue to do that. And I think he thinks Kazmat's the big bad wolf. And that's who he wants to fight.
Well, what happens if Darren Till ends up beating Jack Hermanson? Then that fight wouldn't be next.
I think he'd still fight Kazmat next. I think Darren Till, he's already outlined he wants to fight Hermanson, Kazmat, and then Adesanya.
I'd be all over that, man. I can't wait to see Kazma fight again. Ross,
I'm disappointed he's not fighting this fight island.
I know, like,
It's like
and then
apparently November it's fighting.
but Kazma seems like such a ideal person to be pushing for the UFC. The way he's in the background, like warming up John Phillips, who he previously smashed, and like the way he's hanging around with DC and what's your thoughts on like Kazma? The way he's like bar the fighting, what he's doing outside the octagon. What you make of that? Because
he seems fun to be around.
Yeah,
and he seems to just be so go with the flow. I think it is, and he seems to be very much embracing all this attention and fandom he's getting, and it just makes it more and more appealing. To be honest,
who's your top 5 favorite fighters right now in the UFC?
Favorite or must the ones that like I can't miss fight?
I don't know. Like, I just want to hear Kazmat's name in that top 5. He's just like I watch all his interviews. I watch all his interviews.
In there. Yeah. He's absolutely brilliant. Kazmat and the Schmo.
I'm not even a big fan of the Schmo, but like I was like, right, I'll check this out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just a funny combination to see the two of them.
It is. You should have got Kazmat the glasses. I didn't know. Do you know what? I don't think I originally liked the Schmo, the way he was putting it on so much. But then like he's gradually calmed down, and he's not so overly like what is it? Yeah. Yeah, he's not so schmoey anymore.
But even Kazmat even took a break from like hanging out with Dana White to go corner someone for 5 minutes as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what a guy.
He's doing it all. Like he
seems to have to run the place. He seems to just like show up and then be able to walk around where he wants. But like then again, who is going to tell Kazmat what to do?
I know.
He's Mish.
Oh my god! Here, by the way, shout out to the Nelk boys. They're over in Fight On. I was like, hopefully they do a mukbang with Khabib and Kazmat. That would be fucking enormous. But if you're going to call it now, Ross, who would win, Darren Till or Kazmat? I haven't put this poll out. I think Kazmat as well. I haven't put that poll out yet, but like it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
How would he win it?
Smash.
How would he win it?
He'd be like, I smash you, brother. And then Darren Till would be like, kind of coke. That was a terrible Liverpool accent, but it was the best I could do. Kazmat by TKO.
Kazmat Smash. Yeah. Do you know what? The Merseyside Derby was on over the weekend, and straight away after, the first ad was this weekend's UFC, and I was like, that was so smart getting on that because, like, obviously,
that 18 to 35 demographic.
Yeah, but all the Merseyside people who watch either Everton or Liverpool obviously back Darren Till, so they're like, all right, grand. It's just like perfect marketing. That's what the UFC are just unbelievable. They're on a different level here. Right, so Ross, any other MMA crack before we get into the weekend's UFC or Taker versus Zombie?
No, I think that was sort of the main point of the weekend.
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose you can say Chris Hoiberg won. We say that?
You can say whatever you want, man.
Yeah, she won by destruction, as always in Bellator. But I think that was sort of all from Bellator at the weekend. Just Chris Hoiberg won, that was it.
Well, although Ricky Bandejas actually lost to Leandro Higo.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that sort of throws a spanner in the works. That's what I was trying to say. For Bandejas versus James Gallagher. Maybe going to be Gallagher versus Higo now.
Yeah, also Mike Kimball lost as well, so he was Conor James as well, so that's not happening anytime soon. But Ross, we may as well get into it now, right? Let me get the window open here. Okay, Ross, UFC Fight Island. Brian Ortega defeated Chan Sung Young, aka the Korean Zombie, by decision. Ross, we both went into this fight thinking that Chan Sung Young would win it. Like, also bearing in mind that Brian Ortega's head coach Henner Gracie couldn't go over. How his striking hadn't been as impressive against Max Holloway. Like, he'd been off for 2 years. Henry Gracie actually said on Brendan Schaub's podcast, saying like this is the best Brian Ortega's ever looked. But like, we know everyone says that about every fight, even the carrying injuries. But Ross, oh my God, Brian Ortega
2.0.
It goes to show that like there's really some people's power is in their hair. If they shave it off, people are like, you shouldn't have shaved the hair. Me though. Brian Ortega like just looked like he came out of the Matrix, and his stand up was unbelievable. Like, what did you make of Brian Ortega's performance, man?
Yeah, he caught the Korean Zombie with some really good shots, like spinning back elbows, some uppercuts. Like, he rocked the Zombie a good few times. He dropped him once or twice as well. I was like, wow, very, very impressive. He still does have that tendency to get hit himself, but he does have a very, very good chin. As much as I actually gave all 5 rounds to Ortega, it wasn't as one-sided as, like, it wasn't as much of a blowout as one person actually won all 5 rounds. Like, Korean Zombie had some good moments in the fight as well. I felt like he should have stuck with his leg kick a lot more. He seemed to sort of bruise him up in the first couple of rounds with his leg kick. But look, Brian Ortega looked incredible, and now I'm hyped to see him versus Volkanovski.
Same here. I think Volkanovski just put out a tweet saying, I think he said February suits me.
Well, there we go. Let's have it.
There we go. There's a few fights that I want to mention, Ross, right? But performance of the night, Jessica Andrade with knockout of Caitlin Chukagian, that was brilliant. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I think she's going to have to fight Shevchenko now.
So yeah. Then in the light heavyweight division, we were talking about it last week, Ross. Jimmy Crew taking on Modestas Bukauskas. Jimmy Crew with an unbelievable finish in the first round.
Yeah, he hit him with a hook, and then like the uppercut when he was like trying to get back to his feet, and then it was like a couple of right hands from hell. It was really. It was like the train. Here's Bukauskas, and here's the train. It's like boom. That was it. It was game over.
Did he fold him like a deck?
So impressed him. I was so impressed, Jimmy Crew.
Didn't he fold him like a deck chair? Didn't he?
He actually did. I actually thought Modestas was going to do well in this fight as well.
So did I.
Because he was taller and he was ranger, and I also look at Jimmy Crew and go, he's so undersized at light heavyweight.
Yeah.
He should probably be a middleweight. Look, in terms of frame, he's almost like Chris Weidman-esque frame, and there you go. We just absolutely ran him over. I couldn't believe Jimmy Crew wasn't ranked in the top 10 or top 15 going into this fight as well.
No, he
will be now.
He's doing brilliantly at 24 as well. That's definitely something that I have to look out for. But like the way he fights, he looks like he could have played like rugby when he was younger. He's so even in his movements. You know what I mean? Whereas Modestas sort of seems like he's almost a bit slightly lanky.
Yeah, well, he was definitely the flowier of the two. It was definitely the more polished of the two.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see him fight next, Basil?
Jimmy Crew. So maybe start putting him in with some legends. He's obviously fought Sam Alvey, but like, what about Shogun or something?
Yeah, I think Shogun's going to fight Paul Craig again, if I'm not mistaken. Is he?
I'm not too sure. I haven't heard that, but
yeah, he called out Nikita Krylov afterwards. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Ukrainian fella, do you know the lanky fella?
I remember Jimmy calling him out, and then he jumped out of the octagon and just ran over to Dana.
Yeah, so I could see that fight happening. I wouldn't be against that. Him, or maybe even like a Ryan Spann or Johnny Walker.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker would be a good one, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to see sort of him gauge himself against that top 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Like, when we get knockouts like that, you should move up a level. But
absolutely.
Is there any other honorable mentions from the fight card from the weekend? Like Bar
No,
John.
no, shout out to Johnny Martinez. He looked good as well. By the way, he beat Thomas Almeida. I actually thought Almeida was going to win that fight going into it, but on the Johnny.
All right, so Ross, we'll go into this weekend's UFC 254. What way do you want to do this? Do you want to just start at the top, and then we'll go through some of the other honorable mentions? You know what I mean? There's no point of the mass suspense. People are here for one. Well, two things: the Conor McGregor Poirier and this weekend's card.
UFC 254, headlined by Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje. That's the only fight on this card I want to talk about. We will talk about Whittaker versus Cannonier as well, but that is what people are here for, to find out whether Justin Gaethje has a chance of beating Khabib. That's what people want to know. Can he do it?
Well,
the American highlight reel. The American highlight reel that is Justin Gaethje. 9 bonuses in 7 fights versus the Eagle, Khabib Nurmagomedov, 28-0. This is such a good clash of styles. And you know what they say? Styles make fights. Justin Gaethje, he was an NCAA wrestler. He has unbelievable leg kicks. He's got knockout power in both hands. I think he's got 17 knockouts with 19 wins. Khabib, on the other hand, the Dagestani wreck machine. There's never been a fighter in UFC history who has been so dominant. No fighter has ever come close to beating him. And here we have what might be his kryptonite, Justin Gaethje. Barry, who do you think is going to walk out of Fight Island and UFC 254 with the undisputed lightweight title?
Hopefully Michael Chandler, if one of these lads gets injured. But if none of these lads get injured, I think it's only going one way, and it's going back to Dagestan.
And how's Khabib get it done? How do you see the fight playing out? If you're in Khabib's corner, right?
Yeah.
What are you telling Khabib to do?
Smash. I've just been looking at people talking about it, like, and even Faraz Zahabi was talking about it, and I was just like, Khabib is going to get you down. If he has 5 rounds, he's going to get you down. It's ridiculous to even say that. Like, of all fighters in the division, he's going to get everyone down at some stage. And obviously, Gaethje was a good wrestler in college, but that was like 10 years ago. Khabib's chain wrestling. He doesn't let any air go. Like, he's just like stuck to you like a not really like a snail, because snails are slow, but like a fast snail. The way he traps you. I think it's just inevitable that he's going to get Gaethje down, and Khabib is not going to fight Gaethje's fight. Gaethje wants to like let him bang, bro. You know what I mean? And Khabib's just not an idiot. He's just going to go and do his thing. I think.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. Have you ever seen the way like Venom turns into Venom in Spider-Man? The way like the black stuff like starts on his fingers and like slowly but surely like cover. That's Khabib. Like, Like he slowly just like takes you over.
That's way better than the snail analogy.
Yeah, he's broken some of like the most elite fighters' will. Like, he's broken Dustin Poirier's will. Broken Conor McGregor's will. He's broken Edson Barboza's will. He's had them on the ground. They were just left sitting there against the fence. Don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think you have such experienced fighters sit there and go, I don't know how to get him off me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to stop him. No one's ever seen that before.
I know.
I don't know if we're ever going to see it again to that level.
Kazmat's up there, man.
Yeah, but it's like a different style. He's like more like active, as opposed to Khabib's like pin your arms behind your back first and then start smash.
Yeah.
As opposed to Kazmat's like actively smashing at all times.
Yeah. Kazmat's like way more ruthless.
Khabib is like a 20-year-old beating up an 8-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, that person's always going to win the fight. That's what Khabib's like.
Yeah, I think Even like his dad passing away there recently, I feel like he's going to do this for his dad as well. Maybe I'm reading into it, but like the way he was so important in his career.
Definitely.
There's just like I don't think anyone could be Khabib.
No.
I don't even know if Conor McGregor can knock him out. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. Like it's different when you're.
His like head's real like big and his neck's real thick as well. I just feel like it's not just 1 punch you're out.
Yeah, and also if he was fighting like when he was fighting Conor, he fought Conor differently. Like he sort of like didn't go all out because he knew that he knows Conor.
The danger.
Yeah, he knows there's danger, and he just goes away from the danger. He's very, very, very smart, and I don't know who could beat him. And I like as much as like I was like, oh, it'd be cool if Gaethje, because Gaethje's in such exciting fights, but like Khabib is just going to nullify that. That's what I honestly believe, and then I think like the good bet is to put on Khabib winning. Maybe you see, but like Gaethje doesn't quit. That's the thing. No matter what, Gaethje goes to the end, which makes him so likable as well. Even his fight against Tony Ferguson, that was unreal. I think.
Yeah, but he's been like TKO'd a few times, and I could see Khabib like TKO'ing him.
Yeah,
I could also see Khabib getting one of those rear naked chokes and like finish him that way as well.
Yeah, like Gage and
I just don't see Gaethje like landing like a few punches and Khabib like going knocked out. I just don't see it.
Yeah. When the fight was first announced, I was like, oh, this could be a lot closer. Like, maybe he is the guy to win. But then it's like, the more it comes closer, you're like, hold on. He's been rocked.
Yeah, I honestly think he, like you said, with Khabib's dad pass and stuff like that, he's going to be more determined to win than ever. And he won't let himself down or his dad down. And Khabib will roll out 29-0.
And that's nothing against Gaethje. Like, I love watching Gaethje fight. It's just like I can't see anyone beating Khabib. Khabib is just so like he's not. You see, the thing is, no fighter is perfect, right? And like, who knows? Gaethje can knock him out straight away with a knee, and then everybody like, look at them lads. They don't know what they're talking about. But like, if we've seen so many fights that it's just like, here, look, I think Khabib is just the best.
Khabib is the best, and let's be honest, Khabib Nurmagomedov could finish his MMA career undefeated. If there was ever a fighter who could ever do it, it would be Khabib. You could look at Israel Adesanya, but he looks a lot more beatable than Khabib does. Khabib is going to go in there and do his best to break Justin Gaethje's will and try and smash him. And at the end of the day, that's probably what's going to happen. That's what's happened 28 times so far. What makes us think that it's going to change this time?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not as if we're predicting something that has never happened. You know, like
yeah, it's a bit like when Usain Bolt when he was running the 100 meters. When Michael Phelps is swimming, it's like I think Phelps is going to win, or I think Usain Bolt's going to win. It's like, well, that's what happens every other time, so it's probably going to happen again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what way we reacted this time next week. But you're witnessing it.
Yeah, well, we've been wrong before, and we've seen bigger upsets in the past. So who knows?
Yeah, and then like next week we'll know more about because if Gaethje wins, he will fight the winner of Poirier and McGregor. And then, but if Khabib wins, I don't think he's going to fight the winner of Poirier and McGregor. So things will be very interesting. It's funny how we're just a few days away from finding out everything, you know?
Who do you think Khabib will fight? Think he fight Tony Ferguson next?
No. I think he can move up or something. Maybe.
GSP?
I know that GSP stuff there. GSP's been doing a lot of interviews. Potentially. I don't know. Because he'd be 29-0. Like, the next one is going to be... Could be something special.
See the way he's like, I want to retire at 30 now. I'd actually be raging if he retires at 30 now. I want to see him like keep on smashing.
Same here. And like we'll go over everything next week. This is just a starter. The main course goes down Saturday night.
This is only wetting the whistle.
This is only wetting the whistle. Yeah, this is wetting the whistle. But Ross, there's also a big fight in the middleweight division. Rob Whittaker take on Jared Cannonier.
Yeah, I must say, I think the closer this fight has got to its destination, I do like Robert Whittaker to win this fight. I have seen him be in far higher level fights than I've seen Jared Cannonier in, and I just think he's got a complete tool set. He's good at the wrestling. He's great on the feet. I feel like Cannonier's only chance is sort of to catch him with a knockout. I don't see it happening. I like Robert Whittaker to win this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won a 30-27, 3-0, all across the board.
Yeah, if he fights anyway, he fought against Till. He should win this one. There is actually a bit of heavyweight bout going on as well. Alexander Volkov taking off Walt Harris.
Yeah, I like Volkov to win that. He looked very good in some of his recent fights in the UFC. I know he was battering Derek Lewis and then got knocked out, and he beat Verdum, I think it was, recently enough as well. So I like Volkov. Walt Harris is good, but I don't know if he could ever crack into that sort of top 5 as opposed to. I think Volkov can get in and around there.
You don't think Walt Harris was trying to take him down, no?
I don't know, Volkov is so long. He's 6'7". That he's actually quite dangerous, off his back. So it's like getting Stefan Struve on the ground. Those big legs are coming up for you.
Yeah, shout out to Stefan Struve.
Ross, and shout out to Ian Katiba as well.
Yeah, that fight's funny. Is that the fight where Kuti Laba led on? He was injured.
Yeah, he was like, oh, getting knocked out, and the ref was like, stop it. And he was like, what are you doing? I was joking. And he was like, didn't think you were. And then I think they were supposed to fight again, and I think one of them got COVID, and then next thing you know, here we are.
Yeah, it's a very stacked Russian card actually as well. It's funny.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev, I'm very interested to see this against Rafael dos Anjos. Dos Anjos, former lightweight champ, come back down to lightweight after a stint.
But he's not fighting.
That's on the UFC card?
This is off. This is off at the moment. Dos Anjos is out. Don't see the fella, the Jordan fella, call out Makhachev after winning.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought
that's because Dos Anjos is off.
Or I thought Dos Anjos stepped in because I know they were trying to get Makhachev a fight.
But you know who is fighting on this card and is dying to join our Zoom call right now? Smiling Sam Alvey. So Basmo, we're going to take a quick commercial break and then come back with Smiling Sam Alvey.
Okay, perfect. And here he is, the man of the hour. Roscoe, who is it, man?
It's Smiling Sam Alvey. Smiling as always. Live from Yas Island, Abu Dhabi. Sam, what is Fight Island like?
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's one of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed at with the UFC. It's beautiful. The island's beautiful and finally out of quarantine. And we're just enjoying every second.
That's great. That's great. Well, I saw you got first class flights over and everything. You were loving life.
Yeah. Actually, turns out I was in business class. I just didn't know the difference.
I love it. Like, Sam, obviously you're fighting this weekend. But the thing is, I have to ask, how did you get into mixed martial arts?
I stumbled into it. I never meant to be a fighter. I played trumpet. I was band nerd. Someone just said, hey, you want to fight in a cage? I said, sure, let's do it. And then I just kind of ended up in the UFC a few years down the road.
Yeah.
The first 4 years of my career, I was self-taught. I just kind of made it up. The first, I don't know, probably 8 fights, 6 amateur, 2 or 3 professional. I didn't train at all. I just kind of walked in and did what I did. But just fell in love with the sport.
Yeah. And then Sam, you were obviously with Team Quest. Absolute killers out of Team Quest over years. Have you ever had a harder fight than you got in that gym?
No, goodness. Dan Henderson's better than anyone I've ever fought. He's levels above everyone.
I always find that funny because Dan Henderson is so good and he's had such a absolute Hall of Fame career. But then when you see him move sometimes, he's like a piece of wood.
He's very stiff.
Yeah. Hey, like most fighters, we don't have to be. We've only got to be good for 15 minutes every 8 weeks. Outside of that 15 minutes, we're fragile.
How was your fight camp in the build up to this as well?
Oh, I had a great camp. Had a ton of sparring partners. All my coaches were in town. Just really, everything was vibing real well.
Yeah, and I was looking at your Wikipedia there, Sam. Do you actually have 5 kids?
I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's loads, man.
4 biological, and then 1 adopted.
No way, fair play to you. And is your
big
wife,
respect.
yeah, is your wife over there going to be in your corner again?
Yep. She, over 70 fights, and she's been in the corner all but 1.
All but 1.
Yeah, that was my fight back on right after COVID, May 9th. We couldn't get her to that one.
All right, I thought it was going to be a domestic one at home. When you didn't clean up the kitchen. No, but are you like obviously how I know how you got the nickname, but like who gave you the nickname of Smiling Sam Alvey?
Yeah, I think it was my dad, but we don't really remember. It was just shoot, it's been so long now. I've been doing this for 14 years, 14 or 15 years. So I think it was my dad, but nobody really remembers.
Yeah, and then
What about?
No, I was going to ask, are you going to shave the smiley face in the back of your head again?
It's already there.
Oh, it's fresh, man. that is fresh. That is fresh. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Go ahead, Rob.
2 questions. Dan Unjung, I think I'm saying that right anyway. What do you know much about him? Because he's a bit of a hard man to look up and see what he's done previously. And how do you see the fight going this weekend? And then a follow-up question. I know you were hunting down Dana White on Fight Island to ask him a few questions. Did you get to see him?
No, I haven't caught up with Dana yet. I'll find him at some point. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that almost as much as I'm looking forward to the fight. But then the fight, I'm telling you, it's going to be second round knockout. I'm going to get him round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a slow starter, but by round 2, I'll find my groove, and he's going to sleep.
And this looking for Dana White, like, do you have a bone to pick with him, or are you just looking to hang out with him?
No, I want to get TikTok famous with him. He's got a bigger following than me. I want to use him for clout.
If you're doing
and what sort of dance would you do?
What's that?
What sort of dancing would you be doing with him?
Oh, the Savage Love Dance.
Oh yeah, I love it.
I'm not actually, I don't know what that is.
That one. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Sam, if you're looking to go viral, right? The Canadian lads, the Nelk Boys. Have you heard of them?
The who boys?
Nelk Boys. Nelk. Nelk Boys.
Maybe are they the guys that are always just sitting down talking about random stuff?
No, well they do loads of like skits and pranks and stuff, but they're actually on Fight Island now. They're invited by Dana over.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so look out for them. You'll notice.
All right, I'll keep an eye out for them too.
Yeah, they look like college dudes, but yeah, definitely look out for them. They're enormous on YouTube, and
they're clout.
Yeah, Dana made sure to get them over, so make sure you see them. Probably.
Yeah, absolutely will.
Yeah, one of the guys is really fast at downing drinks, so maybe down a protein shake and he'll do something good as well.
All
Lovely.
Sam, are you looking forward to the main event after you get your own business done? Who do you think is going to win there?
I'm going to take Justin. Justin wins this one. And it's funny, I think Khabib is the best lightweight that's ever been. But I think Justin, styles make matchups, and I think it's just a bad matchup for Khabib. Justin, he doesn't wrestle much, but he is an expert wrestler. He's D1 All-American. I mean, he is about as good a wrestler as you could ever find. And so I think he'll be able to stuff enough of Khabib's shots. And then on the feet, there's no comparison.
Do you really think that? Do you really think he will stuff everything?
I maybe not every shot, but enough of them. He only needs to win 3 rounds to win the fight. So if he can stop just enough fights, I think Justin is super active standing. I think Justin will just pick him apart on the feet.
Also, he's got cardio for days as well, Justin Gaethje. And well, you know what? He's actually the closest thing I've ever seen to a Chuck Liddell-esque fighter in the UFC since Chuck Liddell. Like, just use that wrestling for defensive purposes to keep the fight on the feet.
Yeah, and it's nobody's been able to really stop Khabib's wrestling, not for long enough. I think I've seen 1 or 2 shots stuffed with Khabib, and I think Justin's going to be able to do a lot more. And his hands are they're going to make contact. Khabib's going to have to shoot from further away than he's used to.
Oh, Basmo, before you were on, Sam, we were actually both saying we thought Khabib was going to win, and now I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, you should also know, I am always wrong with my main event picks.
Oh,
I'm like,
don't worry, Ross is as well.
What's that?
Yeah.
Ross always is as well. So like,
Okay.
But I hear one person who's like after blowing up in the UFC recently is Kazmat Chimaev. Like he was like the face there on the weekend. Like, have you seen him? Have you talked to him? He seems like a really nice guy.
I have not seen him yet. I would love to. He's super impressive with how much he's fighting. I'm jealous that he got to fight 2 weeks in a row like that, 2 different weight classes. I'm on the short list of fighters who have won 3 fights in the shortest amount of time. I think I'm number 4 or 5, but he just smashed my record.
Smashed.
Smashed it.
Literally.
So yeah, he's very impressive.
Yes, he is.
He is. Barry, do you think Sam is rivaling Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for the nicest guest we've ever had on the show?
Yeah, potentially so. Definitely with the best smile. Definitely with the best smile.
And tell us this, Sam. After you get the business done on the weekend, what are you going to eat with the missus? What's your go-to meal after you win?
After I weigh in, I always eat pizza. Whenever I get home, I always eat pizza. So it'll probably be pizza is the first thing I eat when I get off the plane.
Caviar toppings.
I'm a veggie guy. But all I want is green pepper on there. But I want thick crust. I want deep dish.
Wait, is that
What about pineapple?
I am fine with pineapple and ham. I'm good with it.
I don't think it's that
me
bad
too.
either.
I love pineapple.
Sam, if I was to fly to Wisconsin, what would be the go-to dish to have in Wisconsin?
Brats and cheese. Yeah.
What exactly is that?
A brat, it's like a big hot dog, but way better.
Bratwurst.
Yeah, bratwurst.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay.
And one last shout out to one last friend of our show, Chael Sonnen. When's the last time you spoke to good old Chael P?
It would have been over Instagram. We messaged once or twice trying to get somebody on his Submission Underground show. So yeah, he's.
Would you ever do that, Sam?
I'd probably lose, but I'd be happy to do it.
I was just wondering because he was a Team Quest alumni, but he's got the big job in the ESPN now. So I just wanted to know, was good old Chael P still reaching out to the Team Quest?
Yeah, he was at a different Team Quest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the Portland, the original Team Quest. Dan Henderson and Chuck and Randy Couture started that one, but then they both moved south. And Dan started the Team Quest, the more famous Team Quest, I guess, down in Southern California. But Chael stayed up in Portland.
Sam, you're almost on like nearly 50 fights. What's been like your most like a memorable fight, or what was the best fight you had, or like it could have been your best performance, or you beat who you beat?
I love the fight against Nate Marquardt. I thought it was a very entertaining fight, and he was my coach. He was my coach on The Ultimate Fighter. So I'm one of the few fighters in the history of the world in the UFC that got to fight their coach, and I got to, and it was a very memorable fight for me.
Brilliant.
I thought you were going to say Rashad Evans. It's like straight away.
Yeah, that one's good too.
Yeah, that's a good runner-up.
Yeah, well, you know, they're the two world champs that you got the LW over, so that's always good. But Sam, hopefully you snap that losing streak this weekend. We'll be outrageously cheering for you this weekend. We'll be shouting down the TV, and we wish you all the very best, my friend. So thanks a million for coming on. Thanks a million for everyone watching at home. And Barry, as always,
stay energized.